So let's go again. Rounding off or approximation, why and when. Any ideas on that? Why would people?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Rounding off. One of the reasons for rounding off. One of the reasons for rounding off is for what they call quick calculations, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't need something to be exact. You need a quick calculation. When would you need this? For example, sometimes I'm going to give you two scenarios. One, like at a football game, all right, or a match. You can look
Yes,
at the
sir.
crowd and you can say, well, we have 100 people here, 200 people here, or 10,000 people and so on. In situations where it might be difficult to count every single person, you can have an approximation or you round off. Okay, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
one. Another situation could be like when you're in a store and you're picking up a few items and you want to know if you have enough money, including the tax. And we dealt with a situation like this before in class. So I go in and I have $2,000 to spend, and I pick up something that costs $450. I can begin to round to know if after I have picked up everything, I'll be able to pay for the things that I want plus the tax and have change left. All right. So
Yes, sir.
we can use it for those two situations where you're shopping and like at a football game. So there are some things that we need to know. In rounding, you need to know that there's an upper limit and a lower limit. Okay, an upper boundary and a lower boundary. If we are rounding, if we're going to round to 10, there will be an upper 10 and a lower 10. And if you're rounding for hundreds, there'll be a upper 100 and a lower 100.
Lower 100.
And if you're rounding for thousands, an upper 1,000 and a lower 1,000.
And a lower 1,000.
So there's a
Yes,
band. There's a band between these things. Okay, so let's look, for example, on that idea. So here we have 10 and we have 20. So between these, we have a certain set of numbers. And this would be the lower 10 and this one would be the upper 10. So let's look now at the numbers 10, 13, 15, 18, and 19. And the rule is, if I have 4 or less, I must put it closer to the lower limit, therefore round down. And if it is 5 or more, I put it at the upper limit, so you round up. And this is the same for tens, hundreds, thousands, etc. So let's go now. So let's look at the number. Let me swap colors here and make this something else. Let's look at the first number here. 11. Which of these two limits is 11 closer to? The upper limit or the lower limit?
Lower.
Good. So if I were to round 11 to the nearest 10, I'm just going to call it 10. Understood?
10. Yes,
good.
Sir.
What about 13? Let's look at 13.
Lower.
Lower limit again. Excellent. Now, 15. Here we have 15. And on this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. On this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. It's dead in the center. But they have said as a rule, once it is 5 or more, we call it the upper limit. So 15, we would call 15 what? 20. Understood?
20.
We'll round it up and call it 20. 18. 18. Where's 18? Is 18 closer to 10 or closer to 20?
20.
Okay. And 19.
So that would be the upper limit.
Good. And 19 also is closer to 20 than it
20.
is to 10.
10.
Okay. All right. I hope we get that. So let's look at this example, our first example. says that example 1, round 554 to the nearest 10. All right. So what I like to tell people is they're rounding to 10. Underline the digit you're rounding. Look to the digit to the right. Circle it. When you circle it, if it is 5 or more, add 1 to the digit you are rounding. And if it is 4 or less, keep the digit and put 0 for the rest. So let's look at what that looks like in practice. This is what will determine if it's rounded up or down. Is this number 4 in the rounding up or the rounding down group?
Down.
Good. So we're going to keep, once we are rounding down, we keep the number. So it will be equal to 5, 5. And we're going to put 0 for the rest. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So it means that 554 is closer to 550 than it would be to 560. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Let me make a little space over here so and see if we can actually see how that would look. Switch. All right, let's go. So we had 554. Below that, we would have 553, 52, 51, 50. So this is 550 down here. All right. So let me.
Yes, sir.
This is 550. And then we have 56, 57, 58, 59, and then we have 560. Okay. All right. So let me make this all the same. Let's rub this part out. Okay. So here we have now the upper limit, the upper 10 being the 560. Okay. And the lower 10 being the 550. Now, if it is, I'm missing a number in the middle, not true. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Yes, and 55 goes here. And this is the number in the middle. Now, the 54 is in the rounding down group. Okay. So, what we're saying is that 554 is closer to 550 than it is to 560. Got it? So if we had 558, where would this one be if we were to round it to the nearest 10?
560.
Very good. So it's closer to the upper limit than it is to the lower limit.
Down.
All right. Good. So let's go with this then and see. We need to round these to the nearest 10 now. 522. Let's go with the rule again now. So we're going to...
That would be equal to 520.
Very good. So we look at this number. This is the number we are rounding to. We are rounding to 10. So this is 100 tens and ones. Underline the one I'm rounding to. Then look to the digit to the right. Circle it. If it is 5 or more, we're going to round up. If it is 4 or less, we round down. This is in the rounding down group. So we're going to keep these and put 0 for the rest. So 5 to 0. What about 655?
655 is 660.
Very good. 660.
Okay.
138.
Come in, sir. Yes, 660. Number 3 would be 140.
140. Excellent. 140. What about 4,102?
2.
This now has
4,100.
Okay. 1,000, 100, tens, ones. So here we're rounding to tens. Look again to the what? Digit to the right. This is in the rounding down group. So I'm going to keep all of these. 4, 1, 0 and put 0 for the rest. So this becomes 4,100. What about 18? What about
20.
18? 18,
20.
let me give you another color. 18 becomes 20. 94 becomes
90.
okay. 12 becomes what?
10.
Good. And 254 becomes what?
250.
Excellent. Okay. Let's round to the nearest 100 now. Okay, so we're going to have an upper limit and a lower limit. So we have 776 rounding to the nearest 100. So we have 100, tens, ones. I'm rounding to this number. So I'm not looking to the 6. I'm going to look to the number that is to the right of it. Okay.
Right.
So this now would be what? What?
Sir?
Up, rounding up or rounding down?
Up.
Up. Good. So I'm going to add what? 1 to the digit I'm rounding. So this becomes 8. And I put 0 for the rest. So 700.
You have to put 0 for the rest?
Yes. 700 and because you're rounding to hundreds, you know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 776 rounded to the nearest 100 would become what? 8.
100.
800. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Let's go now with these. And these, this time around, we're looking at a different unit. We're looking at grams. So 438 grams rounded to the nearest 100 would become what?
400.
So this would be, give me the units.
400 grams.
400 grams. What about 678 grams?
That would be 700 grams.
Okay, so this is 700 grams. Because let's go with this now. I'm rounding to hundreds. I look at the 7. The 7 is in the rounding up group. I add 1 to the digit I'm rounding. And I put 0 for the rest.
0 for the rest.
Alright, so this now 1,453 grams will become
1,500.
1,500 grams. 862, that would become
862. That would become 900.
900 grams. Because here I'm rounding hundreds.
Hundred.
This is in the rounding up group. I'm going to add 1 to the digit I'm rounding. So it becomes 9 and I put 0 for the rest. 3,972.
That would be equal to 4,000 grams.
Okay, so this one is equal to 4,000 grams. Let's go 1,236 grams.
1,230?
No. Let's go
1,200.
1,200 grams.
I just see it.
Okay.
Grams.
5,025 grams.
25 equals 5. Wait. 5,000 grams.
5,000. All right.
Oh yes. I wasn't sure about that one.
How do we get this? Because this is thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. I'm rounding to hundreds.
Yes,
Look at this one. This is going to be what? In the rounding down group. So I'm going to keep the digit I'm rounding. Keep it. And put 0 for the rest. So I get 5,000. Let's go with this last one here. 413.
That would be 400 grams.
400 grams.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Okay.
So for homework now,
you.
This is for homework. I want you to round the following to the nearest 1,000. Okay. So
Sir, as I finish this today. Can I send it in the group right now?
Yes, you can drop it in the group immediately. So let's go to number 1. Round $14,713 to the nearest thousand. Remember, I was saying earlier we could be doing some shopping. So in this instance, we're looking at money.
Yes, sir.
Next, read number 2 for me.
$27,331.
And you're rounding to the nearest.
Yes.
Nearest what?
1,000.
Nearest thousand.
What amount? 13,147.
Good. 47 yam, pumpkin, carrot, what?
Dollars.
Okay. Number 4.
$17,662.
Number 5.
$38,653.
Okay, and the last one?
$99,527.
Okay. All right, so let's wrap up this episode now, and we're gonna talk about what it is that we were doing here. So in this episode, we were looking at rounding off.
Rounding off.
In some places, they also call it approximation.
Approximation.
Why do we need to know about rounding off? It can help us with what? Quick calculations. Quick calculation. Because if I wanted to add 38 and 59 just quickly, right? 38 and 59. I don't need an exact figure. I could simply call the 38 40 and the 59 60, and I could say that's 100, about 100. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Good. So that would help me not to have the exact answer, but to be close to the answer.
Close to the answer.
All right. When sometimes at a football game or while I'm shopping,
shopping.
We can use supermarket in the bookstore, wherever.
Wholesale.
Right. Now, things to know when we're rounding, there's always an upper limit and a lower limit.
Lower limit.
The rule, if it's 4 or less, we're going to round. We're going to round
down.
If it's 5 or more, we're going to round
up.
And the rule is the same for tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and so on. Understood? So let's quickly go through the first 4 on this side. And we're rounding here to the nearest 10. 522 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes
520.
655 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes
660.
138 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes
4,100.
138 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes.
Sir?
Look at this one. I want you to tell me number 3. 138 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes
140.
And 4,102 rounded to the nearest
100.
This is the nearest 10 becomes
10. 4,100.
4,100. Let's go with rounding to the nearest 100, and we're going to look at from 5 to 8. 3,972 grams rounded to the nearest 100 would be.
Which one, sir?
Number 5. 3,972 grams. We would call that
4,000 grams.
4,000 grams. Number 6. 1,236
grams will be equal to 1,200 grams.
Very good. Let's go with number 7.
5,025 grams would be equal to 5,000 grams.
Number 8.
413 grams will be equal to 400 grams.
Alright. Okay. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to write that off.
Yes, sir.
Remember to do your homework and put it in the group.
Yes, sir.